Good morning. So yesterday was long. Sorry, I'm trying to anyway. Yesterday was really long. I went to West Yellowstone or Yellowstone Park, sorry. It was my first experience as an adult in the park. I do believe once I got there that I did go as a kid once. Pretty sure I did. Pretty sure my parents took me. Unless that was a different park and it just looked a lot the same. Not sure. I'm from a military family and we did a lot of traveling in the car, long distances. Who the hell knows if I was there before? I don't think I've ever been before, but I'm not going to swear to that. But it is the first time as an adult that I got to go to the park. I went by myself, and a couple things. One, I never want to do that during tourist season again, ever. And two, I had a beautiful evening with somebody I've never been able to spend enough time with, so it was really nice. I got to do a couple earth connection. I did a meditation off the lake, which was so nice. I could really just have sat there all evening and really connected with Mother Earth. It was just the most beautiful spot. There's actually a couple places I saw that would make beautiful hand fasting spots if you didn't have a crowd with you, right? Like, as long as you didn't have a crowd, it would have been beautiful. I want to read a little bit from Anam Cara, one of my really favorite books. And a shout out to Teresa all those years ago that turned me on to this. She said, "Oh, Red, you're gonna love this," and she's 100% right. I love this book, and I go back to it all the time. There's all kinds of spots that I've highlighted, and I write in the margins. The mystics are among the most trustable in the areas of sensuous love, and they have a lovely theology of the sensuous implicit in their writings. The mystics never preach a denial of the senses. Rather, they speak of the transfiguration of the senses. They recognize that there is a certain gravity or darkness in eros that can sometimes predominate. The light of the soul can transfigure this tendency and bring balance and poise. The beauty of such mystical reflection reminds us ultimately that energy is divine creativity. The transfiguration of the senses, the wildness and playfulness of the soul come into a lyrical rhythm. And the reason I read that is yesterday in Yellowstone, something that, because I've been really sick, right? And wow, I can tell I did too much yesterday. I woke up, I had to do my nebulizer this morning. My whole skin, I used my umbrella, I wore a hat, and all of my skin that was exposed, like my arms and my face, I wore something from here all the way to my ankles, right? Because I am very allergic to the sun. Direct sunlight and I do not get along. My face hurts really bad. I'm not even really sunburned. I'm a little pink, but I just hurt. Like my skin, the nerves in my skin are just on fire. And I was going somewhere with that. Yes. Transfiguration. So yesterday there were a couple times that I sat or I got out of my car in the shade and I let myself ground and sink in to Mother Earth. And to do that, you have to kind of accept the wildness of nature. And something my friend said yesterday, she said that a lot of times people come to the park, I think this is how she said it, but a lot of times people come to the park and they're not quite ready for the wild nature. They're not quite ready for how raw and how big Mother Nature is. And they're not quite ready for the reality of nature. And I am truly blessed to have chosen a life where getting outside is important. And even as a child, I ran around like a crazy person outside, and the spiders and the snakes and, you know, all of the wild things. And I have always felt that I was friends with Mother Earth, that I can respect her wildness, I can respect her raw power, and still understand that I am connected to her. I live within her ecosystem. She and I are not separate. Her conscious awareness infuses us, because we would not be here without her. And if we stop and pay attention and allow ourselves to connect with her, she talks back. She does communicate back with us. But we have to be able to transform that energy into something that makes sense to us, because she is her own consciousness and we are our own consciousness. And yet we are symbiotic together. Though I do think she could probably survive without humans destroying her, right? Being conscientious of that energy. I had meant to stop by one of the stores and get some stones for a friend of mine, and I totally forgot, because by the time I got done I did the big loop. There were a couple places I wanted to see, but I didn't, because I pulled into the parking lot and parking lots were full. People were parked along the road. And I even thought I went later where it wouldn't be as busy, and it was crazy busy. So I do have plans to go back probably in late September, early October, when everybody's gone back to school and the tourists have stopped. But it was beautiful, and it was a good drive, and I really had the opportunity to connect with her. I did pull off quite a bit. I tried to pull off where there weren't a lot of people so that I could sit and I could, I really loved the Yellowstone Lake. I stopped quite a bit. I would pull off and I would go walk down to the water, and I did give the gift of sweetgrass, and I did do a little ceremony of thanks. I also did a healing release ceremony for me. It has to do with this whole stuff that's happened this last year. I really needed to do that. And that was kind of another motivation for going, like, it's time. It's time to allow a place of raw energy to kind of lift that away and release it. And I got to see Old Faithful, and, you know. But today's daily devotion is about transformation, right? Like, I did too much yesterday, and today I'm paying the price, but the transformative energy of release, like being able to release all that stuff from the last year and all of the, and it takes time to release trauma, right? Like, your body has to let it go, your soul has to let it go, your mind has to let it go. And I know I'm not done, but I do feel lighter. I do feel lighter here. Like I took a deep breath and I let it out. And when I let it out, I let it go and I gave it up. I gave it up to God. I gave it up to the universe. I gave it up to the goddess. I gave it up to Mother Earth, and I let them carry that burden. I let the entities of the world, that energetic energy, I released and I let it go. And sometimes when trauma and when you've been taken advantage of, and I guess the word that my counselor uses all the time is exploited, that hurts. When you really start looking at what that means to you, it hurts. And that pain also has to be released. And I knew that I needed to release it in my way. And I was able to do that. I was able to let it go. And I found myself yesterday when I was talking to my friend, because I was recounting some of what had happened, I was able to recount it, not going through every single detail. Like there have been a couple of people that I've told because they've asked, and it's been every single little detail thing. And as I'm telling this story, I'm realizing that that's too much. You're still too raw. It's still too heavy. And yesterday I felt like I was able to share, but not share all the heaviness too. I was able to hit the high points. This is what happened, and move on. And we were able to talk about other things. And I know that part of that has to do with the transformative power of that energy, of that acceptance of the heavy and the light within myself, as well as accepting the transformative healing power of Mother Earth, because she is vast and she is heavy and she is powerful. And to bring that into you and accept what that transformative energy does for you, you have to be able to see the balance within yourself, the light, the dark, the yin, the yang, the shadow and the light. So that is my devotional gift to all of you, is looking at the duality of the self and the transformative properties that you have available to you to heal. I'm going to read a little bit more from Onam Kara here as I sit drinking my tea and as the stream goes in the background. I do have a lot to do today too, but I'm gonna pace myself a little bit, because I may not do it all. I may take a nap this afternoon. I'm in a lot of pain, and yet I feel lighter, and I do feel like I am starting to heal. So you have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer. Blessed be.